Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The full review of this game was honestly quite just depressing to look at because the draft bothers me so much. So we're just going to do the short review this time. The biggest issue with this draft, of course, is drum roll in your mind. Is while OG countered drafted super well. Last one is a little long. There was a visual bug. Swain picking into GP was really troll. Banning Ornn was really troll. Banning Ornn when you have Braum on your team is really troll. This is the time where you potentially want to pick Ornn. This is Ornn game for you. This is potentially your time to play Ornn. Banning Ornn when you have Braum, reportable offense. Picking Swain into GP, and then on top of that, going Conqueror. So basically, this Conqueror Swain went into GP. So let me tell you why Swain is terrible in solo lane. The Q got changed, his all-in is weaker. His poke is good, that's why everyone's playing him support, right? They're playing electrocute support, you can gather souls, whatever. It is fine on support. In top lane, Nimbus Cloak is changed. You rely on your flash, your TP to use it. In the past you used Nimbus Cloak, you got move speed when you ulted. Perfect. Phase Rush is required for move speed. Our dear Whippo, he went Conqueror and he got kited like a goddamn dog. Whenever he uses ult, GP can just say hardy har and it just walk away. You could just walk away. You land the root, eat some mandarins. Just walks away. It's just not a good matchup. MSI, sure, there was a time where, freaking, what's it called? There was a time where Wunder played it into GP, but this was completely different times. Completely different. The champion was different and the champion was better. And what you need to put into question is Whippo's champion pool. And now for the rest of the draft. Picking Braum when enemy shows Rakan is really troll. Really troll. Rakan is really good into Braum, and Rakan is coming. And if you pick Aphelios and Braum, it means that you're going to not have prio bottom for most of the game, which is something that we saw as well. Diana pick was alright, considering it's a flex pick. I think Diana is kind of hidden OP, because this is the only thing that was impactful for Fnatic. It's, always into Rakan, you go Nautilus or Leona, just pick Leona, Zaya's coming, and that's it. The Braum is not going to save anyone from anyone. Here, for sure, second wave ban should have been GP. Had to be GP. Very important ban GP, especially if your goddamn top laner only plays Swain. Mordekaiser also, I don't know if it's correct to ban it on blue, especially in the first wave. Jarvan ban is only to set up Aphelios and Senna. Lucian ban is something that has been global. Pantheon is something that I know Nemesis played a lot in solo queue, Akali is OP, and Senna is also one of Reckless favorites. Braum doesn't fit Hylissang playstyle. He played a lot of Braum in the past. This is just a game where he's going to contribute so little. He played a lot of Braum in the past. He was a good Braum in the past. This game was one of his weakest Braum performances that I've seen, for sure. Next in line is, the whole Aphelios thing. I think this is definitely, a question mark. Aatrox ban against Bwipo, is that just the key? Aatrox gets banned and all of a sudden we see Bwipo on Swain. Is that the problem of Bwipo? Aatrox ban counters? Is that the whole way? Aatrox ban to counter. Olaf was banned to set up the Gragas. Kiana gets locked in, but Kiana against Saya, Rakan, GP, and last pick mid, which is LeBlanc, I think you will struggle. Very difficult to find targets, very difficult to assassinate anyone, and I think Kiana jungle, you have to put into question how strong it is. Because Kiana was really powerful in the past because she scaled super well, but now jungle doesn't get that much gold, and I think definitely Gragas is the number one jungler right now because of how everything functions. He just doesn't have any weakness. How about Jarvan ban? Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind the Jarvan ban. I really don't mind. So the only thing that's fine is Diana. Only thing that's fine is Diana. Everything else of this composition is pure trash, and the way to win the game will be very difficult. the only way to win for Fnatic is to make sure that Diana and Kiana are really ahead in 2v2 mid lane, but getting ahead against the LeBlanc is very difficult. It's just, honestly, this is just a game loser, man. It's just such a tilter. This Swain pick made this match terrible. And nevertheless, some key moments in the game, some key comments. I think Origin definitely played a lot slower than they needed to. They could have controlled Nash vision and force situations where the enemy had to fake check into them, and maybe they could find some catches. The biggest mistakes were Selfmade couldn't snowball off of the fact that there was no flash in mid and no flash in top. It was completely meaningless for the game, and Selfmade, I think he had to take the risk of trying to snowball onto them. Later down the line, there was a mistake as well that LeBlanc would lose the prio against Diana. It seemed like Nuktak wasn't too aware of how this matchup works, and definitely there is some room for improvement there. Origin could have played this game faster by just controlling space and making the enemy face check, and you know, the underlying thing here is that they're going to win if they don't force anything as well. So they're taking a slow approach, making sure they get the W on the board. I can respect that too. It's just that if you want to maximize how good you play, it's important that you leave no opportunity for the enemy. So as we said, Selfmade, pressure the flash off of mid, pressure the flash off of top. We also have to, commend OG for how safe they are able to play on the map. Xerxes is covering Falfari at the right timings, and Nuktak is, of course, playing around the Kiana timers. But this means that Diana gets a lot of breathing room, and by the time Diana finishes Mercs, and if she's even, she's going to win. This W is meaningless, blah, 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 blah. So, bot lane of OG having prio the entire time, and Fnatic not punishing these two flashes down. Fnatic get Drake. Fnatic get Drake because of, I'm trying to remember why it happened. Pardon me. Fnatic get Drake, Diana's prio. Diana, oh yeah. Diana's prio because she TP'd. Never mind, she didn't TP. Let's take a step back. Pardon me. Trying to remember why this is the case here. I think it's because Destiny gets chunked. If I remember correctly, Destiny gets chunked to fuck. Okay, Destiny gets chunked, free Drake, and then we have the Kiana gank as well. Selfmade ganks on bottom. So yeah, I think Selfmade tried to cover too many bases. Like he's ganking bottom, he's ganking mid, he's ganking top, everything once. And when you're spending time, you better spend it well, because you need to kind of, cash in on your investment. Later, Bwipo flashes a LeBlanc gank, and that's where a big snowball starts. Let's fast forward to the Swain death. This was also quite good, considering OG is outnumbered on this side of the map, and then Destiny honestly kind of trolls. Look at Destiny, the way he plays. The big mistake here is Fnatic are layering the spells pretty bad. Selfmade needs to keep his spells, and I think Braum also needs to keep his spells. They're just laying everything, and Xayah ult dodge all. So here is a big showcase of how useless this Swain is. His Conqueror is on and he's chasing him, and you can see that, he's floating as if he has a stick up his ass, because honestly, without Face Rush, without Nimbus Cloak, you're not going to catch up, and this GP already is on Mercs, so you don't even have enough damage to kill. So without here Bwipo's flash as well, this just summarizes the game for me, honestly. This flash right here, absolutely atrocious. And then afterwards, there is a repeat gank with Gragas, and then the rest of the game is history. Fnatic needed to explore more opportunities with Diana and Kiana. Never happened. Right now already, Bwipo dies again. He burned flash for nothing, and he's bound to die again. He can't really walk up. 2v2 on top is doomed. And it's over. It's honestly over. OG didn't need to move a muscle. They just needed to keep cool, make sure that they don't screw up and get caught, and it worked. There was some slippery moments where OG, for example, here Xerxes almost got popped. Here Selfmade found an opportunity on him, and maybe if they CC'd Betsar, it would have been better, because what is Hylissang aiming at here? This Matador Brom, look at him. Ooh, what is he aiming for? Xerxes flashes, Destiny counter engages, he's backwards, Beep almost dies, and OG recover. OG get the better position, and here you can once again see Fnatic's problem with the team composition. They can't really find an entrance, and if Selfmade is not finding a flank with his ultimates, and then no one can really follow up on what Diana does. Look at how this GP ult just wins this whole fight situation. So if you're Fnatic, obviously you don't want to fight this, but this is still a very good exhibition of why OG's composition is much better. We talked about the lane matchups, but here is also the fighting in colors. You can see the barrel here from Alphari. Very hard for a champion like Aphelios to gain any entry here at all. There's just too many things that are zoning Aphelios. He's very low range, and the barrels are both from Gragas and both from GP. Very dangerous. Any type of slow, LeBlanc can latch onto him, and that's super difficult. And then here, you know, Diana tries to go in, no follow-up, everyone's low HP, and it's just a disaster. Alphari had a wonderful performance, wonderful game, and he definitely deserved the MVP of this one. Later, we had some fights. This was also quite terrible. So Nemesis tries to step in, Xerxes stopwatches, but look at this barrel from hell again from Alphari. Look at this. Very nice. CCing everybody, and then the GPU lands onto Reckless. He's dead already. Nemesis doesn't get anything done with his engage because Fnatic's team coverage couldn't just follow up. This GP just zones too much, and now Whippo tries to flash in, does absolutely nothing because he's too behind, of course. What did Selfmade do in this? Well, he has ult on this entire time, and he's just hovering. Selfmade got barreled, and then GP ulted, and then he was just out. Disappointment. The fight engage was also pretty bad, so Nemesis just engaging like this, there's no hope. That's the thing though. Like, what should Fnatic realistically do in this game? There's absolutely nothing. Here they're trying to catch Nemesis, Destiny has no ult. This is something that OG could have done more of. They could have zoned more, they could have looked to force fights. This could have happened a lot more during the time span where they actually have ult on. Because here, Origin didn't have Rakan ult, they didn't have GP ult, so it wasn't the greatest. Wasn't the greatest indeed. Onward. This is where we saw a base race. Once again, Alphari making it very difficult. Could they win through top snowball this game? No, they cannot. They cannot snowball onto the GP. The GP will always be more useful than the Swain with Conqueror. Unless the Swain is 10-0 or something ridiculous. Alphari defending the Nexus. Here he could flash Q the Kiana if he wants to, but he hesitated. He thought maybe he was going to die for it, but I think, you know, it's worth it to do it. You're going to live. Do it for the Pirates. Flash Q would have been juicy. Base race. Inhib. Whippo out of position. Whippo gets chased. Whippo's in danger. Gets chased by everyone. LeBlanc coming from an angle, of course. Nuktak's coming in. And Aphelios in action here. Nuktak almost dying to the turret. And some basic attacks. Nevertheless, we continue. Last point. Once again, you know, Exhibition 15. Fnatic's composition just not working. Nemesis trying to find an engage. This is just desperation at this point. And here, Selfmade also, I think, you know, here, this is an opportunity for Kiana to do a lot of great things. But instead, he just gives Rakan a good old kiss here. And I think if you actually E here and go, then it would have been good. You know, he could E and then everyone's here hugging the turret and the wall. It could have been juicy. But instead, we got, you know, rotten fruit from this Kiana here, doing absolutely nothing besides stunning Xerxes. You saw also here, Solari is a piece of shit item. Look at Solari, the Solari size of this shield. It's very small, man. Look at Xerxes' HP. So bad. That's why I really hate this item. Okay. 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 Alright, so in summary, Fnatic draft tragic. Play, how can we judge any type of play in such a game? It's just Origin had all the conditions to win, and Origin played disciplined enough to not make enough mistakes for Fnatic to do anything this game. And then Bwipo played super bad. Self-made burned 2 flashes, but then in team fights he was just not there. If they wanted to win this game, Fnatic, it had to be through 2v2 mid lane. OG with time would always win this game. Top side is better, bot side is better. Gragas is better than Kiana, and LeBlanc will be super good into the enemy team composition. So that summarizes it. Thank you so much for watching this short review. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.